Mike works a dead-end job that he hates and he truly wants to become rich. Every day on social media, he sees those people living an incredible life, a life he could only ever dream of. Mike thinks that this is unfair. How come some people have everything and they're having so much fun while I'm still stuck in this dead-end job and I'm struggling to pay my bills? Now Mike has decided he's going to start his own online business and become a multi-millionaire. But then things don't go as planned. Mike opens up his laptop to do some work, but for some reason he can't focus. No matter how hard he tries, his mind just keeps wandering away. He says he's going to save some money so that he can invest it into his business. Yet he keeps wasting hundreds of dollars on junk food, partying, and video games. After a month of having started his own online business, Mike has still made no money, no sales. Poor Mike, he thought it was going to be the easiest thing in the world to get rich. After all, it all looked so easy on social media. Now you're not like Mike, you are different. You know that becoming a millionaire is going to require some hard work, some sacrifice, and some patience. If we haven't met before, my name is Fred, and just a couple years ago, I was completely broke, depressed, and I hated my life to say the least. Fast forward to today, and I'm now running a profitable online business and living a life I never thought I could live. And that is exactly why, in this video, I'm going to share with you the 5 things that you need to avoid at any cost if you truly want to change your financial situation. Now, the first thing to avoid is consuming instead of producing. I'm not saying that you should only become a producer, because let's be honest, we both produce and consume. I mean, you need to consume things just to be alive. You need to consume food, knowledge, you need to have shelter, you need to have some clothes, you need to have some hobbies, some ways to entertain yourself, maybe a gym membership to take care of your physical body and of your mind. And besides, we are not robots, we're not living factories, we can't be producing, working all of the time. But the issue is that most people want to make more money because they want to have more freedom, more abundance. But the reason why they don't get there is because they consume way more than they produce. Understand this, consumers spend money while producers make money. Money comes directly from value. I mean, no one is going to one day knock at your door and give you $1 million just to thank you for existing. I guess the only equivalent would be having an OnlyFans account, but there is still an exchange of value happening. And you're not like the banks, you don't print money, you don't make money. Instead, you need to convince people, other individuals, human beings, to exchange their hard-earned money for something of value that you have to offer. That is why if you want to make more money, you need to start solving problems for people. If you spend most of your day just consuming, let's say, content, you're on social media, you go on TikTok, on Instagram, maybe you order some takeout. When you come back from your job or from university, you just plop down on the couch and turn on the TV. Or go watch some Netflix shows on your laptop. Your producer to consumer ratio is skewed in that direction. The richest people on the planet, they all solved big problems for humanity. Bill Gates made computers accessible to most families across the globe. Warren Buffett helped countless companies expand and develop their growth. Mark Zuckerberg helped literally billions of people to stay connected. Jeff Bezos revolutionized the way that pretty much everyone is shopping online. They didn't spend all day playing video games, eating Doritos in their parents' basement. Understand that the more painful the problem that you solve for someone, the more money you'll be able to charge for it. I mean, what's the difference between the price of a bag of lettuce and the price of, let's say, a life-saving surgery? The difference in price tag comes from the fact that the surgery is going to require a lot more skills, knowledge, and expertise to be performed. But not only that, it's going to change your life. The impact is going to be extremely profound. And to give you another example, at Consulting Fastlane, we help people to go from 0 to 6 figures in annual revenue with their own online service-based business. And that is a profound transformation to achieve, because going from making no money online to making 6 figures a year, it will allow you to live the sort of life that you've always wanted to live. You can work from anywhere in the world as long as you have a laptop and a steady internet connection. You can take vacations whenever you want as long as the work gets done. If you want to know how you can start a service-based online business, I've recorded a free video in which I'm going to show you exactly the 3-step process that you can use to start getting your first customers as quickly as possible. If you're interested, there's the link in description. Now, when you do consume, you want to make sure that you are not mindlessly consuming. That's what most people do. They grab their phone, they open up TikTok or Instagram, and before they know it, 30 minutes have slipped away from their hands. And depending on how busy you are, on how many responsibilities you have, some people have kids, some people don't, some people have a job, some people don't, 30 minutes can make a huge difference in your day. It could be a workout, it could be a sales call, because I'll tell you this, there are plenty of very valuable YouTube videos online. And in fact, if you were to apply the advice in most of those videos, you could make hundreds of thousands of dollars every year. But most people will never get to that level because they just watch the content and they don't take any notes. When you're done watching this video, you will have forgotten 80% of everything you've learned. That's why you always want to have a notepad or a Notion tab on your computer and write down the key points that you learned in the video, in the book, in the podcast, in the movie. Now, the other thing to avoid is going broke to maintain a successful image. But that image is fake. I know that when you start to make money online, it can be very tempting to spend more of that money. to finally allow yourself to experience luxury and abundance. But you need to be extremely careful, because early success will in no way guarantee long-term success. Plenty of people can make $10,000 once. However, it takes a certain type of individual to keep making $10,000 a month for an entire year. You know, in sports, they say that climbing to the top is one thing, staying at the top is another, because there are countless hungry competitors trying to steal that spot from you. In business, it's the same thing. So when you start to make money with your online business, now is the time to massively reinvest in the business, to delegate, to outsource, to expand your operations, and to generate more revenue in your company. Now isn't the time to go into party, to spend thousands of dollars on expensive bottles of alcohol, to wear Gucci, to rent supercars just to appear richer than you are. Because if you do that, you will lose everything. I'm not saying that you can't have those things if that's what you want, but before you actually go and make those purchases, you want to make sure everything in your business is going to be paid for. And not only that, personally, I save 80 to 95% of what I make. The reason being, I'm in it for the long-term game. At the end of the day, people way overvalue money instead of valuing freedom. Personally, I would rather make $100,000 a month but be free, be able to do whatever the hell I want, as opposed to making $1 million a month but I'm constantly working, I hate my life, I feel literally like I'm on the verge of suicide, and every day is a nightmare. And I'll tell you this, the saddest scenario, it's when you are successful, but because you constantly need that external validation to feel better about yourself, because you don't recognize your own value, you need others to think that, oh, you're so successful, you're so rich, so that you feel like you have some kind of value. The worst thing that can happen to you is that you start to spend all of your money on things that you don't need and that you don't even like. Plenty of people went broke from doing this. Tell me, are you really free when you buy the biggest house in the street, or when you get the most expensive car at the dealership? Not because you genuinely like this one the most, but because you want to appear richer than you are, because it will impress others the most. Don't become a slave to other people's perception of you. I'm not wearing a Rolex because my goal is not to impress you. My goal is to share valuable information to help you to succeed with your own online business. And besides, you've got to realize most people are not thinking about you constantly. They're thinking about themselves. They're worried about their own problems. The third thing to avoid is quitting at the slightest difficulty. Honestly, this makes me laugh. So many people say that they want to become millionaires, yet when you look at their actions, clearly you can see that it's the last of their priorities, because they say they want to get rich, but they still play 5 hours a day of video games, or they don't make an effort to free up some time in their day to actually work on their business. Realize this, you don't need to work on your business 8 hours a day to become successful. Obviously, if you have more time available, more resources to put into your business, of course it's better. But if you're in university or you have a 9 to 5, it's not always possible. But plenty of people will think, oh, I can't work 8 hours a day, so there's no point in trying, because working 2 hours a day on my business will do nothing. But first, there's the weekends, but not only that. Plenty of studies have shown that on the average 8-hour workday, most people are only really getting stuff done for 2 to 3 hours max. So in 2 to 3 hours a day, if you focus deeply, you can do more than most people do in 8 hours anyway. You simply need to focus on the key activities that will give you most of the results. Successful people get kicked 10,000 times in the face, but they still get up and go after what they want. That's just how bad they want it. When I have a goal in mind, I'm not going to stop until I get it. It might be more difficult or longer than I had anticipated, but I won't give up. It's not that successful people have necessarily been born with traits like higher willpower or discipline than the average person. It's simply that over the years, they built those skills. They built more resiliency because they didn't quit. The more stuff you can go through, the higher you can make your pain tolerance, the more successful you will become. I genuinely believe that the only two things that can stop you in life is either death or quitting. Now, a few decades ago, the internet didn't even exist, so to become rich, it was insanely difficult. You would have needed the right network. If you wanted to start your own business, you would have needed to come up with so much money to start it, it's not even funny, because you would have needed to buy some factories, to buy some land, to hire people. And even then, like I said, if you didn't know the right people, it was extremely complex. Nowadays, it is literally possible to become a millionaire with an online business in less than 5 years. Can everyone do it? That's not what I said, because most people are not going to stick to it for 5 years and do the work. They'll quit before it's their time to get quote-unquote lucky. But nowadays, you can truly, like I said, become a millionaire in less than 5 years, even if you don't have that much money or if you don't have anyone in your network. Understand this, it's an opportunity which is unheard of in the entire history of mankind. Now, if you do want to get started but you have no clue what to do, I've recorded a free video in which I'm going to analyze every popular online business model. Together, we'll be taking a look at the pros, at the cons, and I am also going to share with you for completely free the 3-step process that you can use to start your business today and get your first customers as quickly as possible. If you're interested, there's the link in the description below. Now, the fourth thing to avoid is trying to go too fast. I'm calling myself out because I'm literally the most impatient person in the entire world, trust me. I thought that if I just did more, worked more, I'd become more successful faster. And to some degree, it's true. If you're not doing enough, you're never going to get what you want. You need to do enough. But there is something which is the point of diminishing returns. returns. It means that past a certain point, if you do more, you won't get better results. In fact, it's quite the opposite. You'll get worse and worse results. So you need to find the sweet spot. It's kind of like in the gym. If you do way too much, you're just going to exhaust yourself and you won't get results. You'll overtrain. But if you do too little, it's not going to be enough to stimulate muscle growth. So that is exactly how most people misunderstand speed. They think that to go faster, they always need to move faster. Like I said, it's true to a certain point. But if you try to go a lot faster than what you can handle, you will make plenty of mistakes along the way. And then you want it to go faster, but you're going slower because now you need to go back and correct all of those mistakes. So in the end, you lose a lot more time and a lot more money. That is why before starting anything, I read lots of books on the topic, I watch countless YouTube videos on the topic, and sometimes I also join online courses and join communities with like-minded people. I ask questions because I don't know everything, and some people have been able to go through what I'm going through. They have gotten the results I want, so why would I not learn from them? Sure, not every bit of advice is going to be helpful, but you're not going to find the advice that is going to change your life, to allow you to get in shape, to find the love of your life, or to build a thriving online business if you don't gather a lot of knowledge, a lot of advice. These tools, online courses, books, videos, whether they be free or paid, they're all meant to help you to accelerate the learning process and then get results faster. Let's say I'm at the gym, I'm trying to figure out how a machine works. I can try and figure it out, it might take me a couple of hours. Instead, I can just go on YouTube Shorts and in 30 seconds, I will know exactly what to do. Now tell me, which path is the most efficient? Now the fifth thing to avoid, and this one is especially important, it is comparing yourself to others. I'm sure you've heard this time and time again, but no one has really told you why. People have tried to make you feel guilty for comparing yourself to other people, but I'm not in the same boat. I'm not going to tell you it's wrong or that you should feel guilty, because the truth is that it's normal to do that. We all compare ourselves to other people. Sometimes we're going to feel better about ourselves. Sometimes we're going to feel worse about ourselves. But this is in your nature. It's your competitive instinct. You can't really erase it. But with social media nowadays, it's only getting harder and harder to just not compare yourself to the lives of others. Because isn't that what social media is all about? Exposing your life to the public in hopes of gaining some fame? Because let's face it, we all want to feel like we're important people. But the issue with social media is that you might not be aware of it on a conscious level, but subconsciously, you are going to compare your average day, your average life to somebody's highlights. You're going to see the top 1% on social media because usually that's what works best, showing the fancy cars, the fancy vacations, the private jets, because let's face it, no one cares to see you eating a yogurt on Instagram. People want to see the fancy stuff. And so no wonder why you're so depressed after seeing all this, because now in comparison, everything that you do just seems boring. And then you've got to understand that not everyone has the same capacities in life. Not everyone starts off in the same circumstances, and not everyone has the same desires. The worst thing is when you start to see something, let's say on social media, maybe a car, and you don't really care about cars, but now you want to get a Rolls Royce because it looks cool. You're not being true to yourself. If you don't care about those things, it's completely fine. Some people, they just want to provide for their family. Some people want to live the laptop lifestyle, and some people want to live the crazy hedonistic multi-millionaire lifestyle. So it's completely fine if you're using social media to find inspiration in others, but always be critical about what you see. I'm not posting pictures of myself taking a crap on my Instagram because quite frankly, I don't think it's appropriate and nobody cares anyway. But the bottom line is this: learn from everyone, but stay focused on your own path because it's unique. You might see somebody right now, they're super successful. The truth is, you don't know what it took to get there. Maybe they got lucky, because some people do get lucky. Maybe they worked insanely hard and then one day, boom, they finally actually got lucky. But they made their own goddamn luck. When you see somebody getting out of a supercar, you don't know if that person was born in a wealthy family or if they worked for decades to be able to obtain it. So at the end of the day, just focus on you. Now, I sincerely believe that if you avoid the 5 things we have just covered, your financial situation can only improve. And who knows, you might even get rich.